Hey all. Today we are continuing lesson 7 of our Angular tutorial series. Today we are going to discuss about Angular module. I'm Sachit Reddy. Let's continue with Angular modules. Angular applications are modular and Angular has its own modular system called ng modules. And ng modules are containing for a comprehensive block of code dedicated to the application domain, the workflow, or some closely related set of capabilities. And they can contain components, services, providers, and other code files whose scope is defined by the containing ng modules. They can import functionalities that is exported from other ng modules, and also the ng module itself can export selected functionalities for you to use by other modules. And every Angular application has at least one ng module class, as you know. That is a root module where it is created when application created by CLI, which is called app module. Some Angular application may have one ng module which is app module, or other most of application may have more features, so more modules can be defined in Angular application. And using these Angular modules is really important to make our application more low coupling and high cohesion. It is very important thing while creating an application. So in my code, I am going to discuss about these things. And currently we have some functionalities. Our app component is here, and some services pipes, and some directives, and also components. First of all, I'm going to my app folder. Here I'm going to create a new folder to create my modules to one directory. Now my file is created. I will navigate to it. Modules. Inside this modules folder, I like to create my modules. So currently I have one module called app module, which is a root module of our application. And now I'm going to create my second module, ng generate module, m4 module, and then the module name. I want to create this module name as cart module. How I get that module is the important. I thought that the cart functionality and listing items is two separate things, and those have two correlations in their functionalities, and so I want to separate those two functionalities in two modules. So that's why I create a cart module here, and now I am creating my module cart module, and my module create, and you can see in my module folder my cart module has created. If you go inside to the this module, you can see that as the our app module, it also has the decorator called ng module and some properties with that decorator. This decorator is a function that takes single metadata object, which is described in here. These properties describes the about this module, and I'm going to describe most important properties in below. Now inside my cart module, I would like to have some components. When I get my cart module, I want to show my cart details or show my cart to the our users. So I would like to create new component in the generate component cart component. Okay. Now cart component has created. Uh, let's go to our cart module here. In cart module, you can see it. The cart component is declared as a in declaration array. By Angular CLI, it added to the nearest module. So my nearest module is cart module. So Angular added this component to the declaration of this cart module. So before that, uh, before going further, I like to create another module. That module I would like to keep my shareable components in one place. That means when consider about menu button and item card, those kind of components is, I can say, it's a shareable component, since that components may use in several modules. For that I will create a shareable module here. So in my modules folder, I like to create new module called ng generate module shareable module. And Angular CLI will create a module for me which is called shareable module. Now you can see in my modules folder there's a cart modules and shareable modules. Now what I am going to do is I consider this my menu button and also item card as shareable components. So I will move those components to this folder, item card, also to shareable component. Now if you understood this, you may get noticed that there should maybe an error because that app module has the declared item. Menu button and item card components are not in this location, and also this component is not relevant to this app module anymore. So I will remove those things from here. Then what I'm going to do is, since these components now in shareable module, what I have to do is add this, declare these components in my declaration array of shareable module. Okay, now the first important property of ng module metadata is declarations. In that array, the components, directives and pipes that belong to this ng module we are declared here. So you may understood now, since menu button component and item card component belong to this shareable module, we have to declare those components here. And as I said earlier, it is not only the components we have to declare here, also the directives and pipes. So if you remember in my app item card component, let me show you. In my item card component, I have used this unit symbol pipe. Since this unit symbol pipe is relevant to item card component, pipe and the item card components is should be belong to relevant module. So I will show you how to add these things. I will move this pipes to shareable folder. Let's move, and after moving, what I have to do is declare this pipe class in my declaration array. Okay, now I have added it here, and what I had to do is import the uh, from relevant location and remove, since we have already imported this unit symbol pipe, we have to remove it from app module also. And rather than that, another one change we have to do, which is in item card component, we have important some item model here with a relevant path, but now path is changed. So I will remove this import statement. I'll re-import it. Now you can see my application is running well. Now let's see what will show in our browser. Okay, just empty boxes. Why is this? This is because in my app component, I will show you the code. In my app component, I will use in this app item card button. That app item card is now in my shareable module. So how can we use component which is belong to another module from other module? For that, we have a metadata property called exports that declares the subset of our declaration that should be visible and usable in component template of other ng modules. So in my shareable module, here is a metadata property called exports, and I have to add those declaration should export here. So I want to use menu button component, also item card component, and let's say both these components in other modules. So I will save the application and Angular will automatically run this, and let's see how it is working. After the restarting the application also it's the empty boxes. That's because when we go to our code, we have exported these menu button component and item card component from shareable module. But in my app module, we haven't import those components or modules here. So now we are not declaring that exported component. Now what we are doing is we are importing that module to our app module. So what we have to do is import that shareable module to our app module. Now let's save our changes and see what will happen. Okay, again we are get nothing, but I'm not pretty sure why is that. Let's see. Most probably now Angular may not represent modules, important thing, so I will stop my application and run it again. When you working with Angular modules, you will have to face this kind of situation mostly. So when you do changes in modules, if the code is not working, just restart your application. That will fix your problem. Now you can see my items is available in our view. So now we have learned about three metadata properties in our component, which is declarations and imports and exports. And also there is two other important properties. I will not add it here, but I will show it in my app module, which is providers and also the bootstrap. Bootstrap is important thing. This is relevant to the root module, and this says that the main this is the declares the main application view called the root component. Since our app component is root component, we declared it here. And providers are creators of services. That this ng module contributes to the global collection of services, and they become accessible in all part of the application. And if you have specific services that belong to some component level, you can add this providers array in your component decorator also. Okay, now we have see how to use modules uh, and how to use metadata of module and the importance of modules. Before I conclude this lesson 7, I like to make some preparation for our next lesson. For that, I will do some changes with this cart component where we created in cart module. And that is what I want is just uh, display some table of card. So I'll add my table here. Table. Uh, Here I will give a name, quantity, and well, for application, and the here is number. Okay. Now PR. I also want these details TD month, and in my cart component what I'm going to do is inject my cart service private dependency section private cart service and cart service. In my cart service I want to get cart details and here I'm calling this cart service get cart, and we know get cart is returning this item list. Okay. I want to check it again. Here it is written in item list. Item list is here. Actually, it is not the item list, it's a cart item list. So I'll change this here. I'm creating a local variable which cart item list type of list, and in here we have to import this cart item, and cart item list is written in here, so I will assign those values to this cart item list, and I'm going to call this method in my ng or init lifecycle hook, and this is calling like this. Now in my cart item list will containing the cart items, all cart item is there, and in my template what I am going to do is I will only show the table if this cart item list length is bigger than 0. So here length 0, or otherwise I want to show some error message. Let's say for now h1 tag is here, no item in cart, equals 0. Cart item list is undefined though, it is length is 0, no item in cart will show. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use a structural directive here which is ng4. Can remember that I'll type let item of cart item list. copy it here. The let equals index. We type contain the index and put number as I and item name as and get item name by checking our type. It is part item. Part item is containing the label, the item name. So part item here quantity, part item, remember that quantity. Okay, now the price. I'm here adding the unit price. Let's add to, yep, for better viewing, unit price and sub price. And unit price shows the part item price, and it is price here. And you know that there we can have some executions, and I will, here it should be quantity, should be a quantity and price. There should be another column which is price multiplied by the item quantity. So then I had to add some styles. I will add those styles. We'll copy those styles from pre-created styles to my cart component CSS. Okay, now my cart component is ready to go. Why I'm create this component also is, in next lesson we are going to talk about Angular routing and navigation. So we will discuss about uh, navigation to some of these views, to cart and also to the home. So let's conclude our session from here, and we'll meet in next lesson with Angular route.